Hello and welcome to this third module of this online training that we are having on AI and data for environmental research and communication. I am Rajit Sengupta, and today I'll be taking you through the brief overview of all the tools and the tricks that we'll learn over the next three modules. So before I do that, let me just jump over and introduce you to the concepts that we're going to touch upon. So the assumption is that you have completed modules 1 and 2, so which has given you an overview of what all is possible with AI. It will help you think about AI in a way that you wouldn't otherwise, and the different potentials that AI offers, along with a caveat of the loopholes and the limitations that come along with it. Today, what we'll talk about, or what from here on we'll be talking about, is module 3, 4, and 5, where we are talking about AI, how it is being used for research. So basically, in module 3, we'll talk about how to generate and refine research. We'll focus on how to do effective prompting and how to communicate with the AI model that you're comfortable with. In module 4 and 5, we'll also talk about two tools, and we will look at how we can use them to either generate new ideas or reduce the bulk of time that we spend in creating content for communication. So we'll just jump over to a small presentation uh, to give you an idea of what all we'll be doing. So the basic thing that we need to keep in mind, and something that it would be there at the back of each one of our minds, is the fact that there are two components to the use of AI. One is the prompt that we give, which is basically the text that we give while we're chatting with any AI model. And depending on how robust it is and how effective it is, the outcome will also be either relevant or irrelevant to what we want from the AI. The second part is the models that we use. Models are basically specific kinds of AI thinking models which do different kinds of things. For example, there is something called Nano Banana, which has been made by Google, which is wonderful for creating images. There is something called Veo, which is used for creating videos. Then there are others like something as basic as Gemini, which is used for chat. So all of these different models, they in theory can do anything and everything you throw at them, but in practice some model is better at doing something and some other model is better at doing something. So we'll talk about the different models and the different apps that come along with it, or platforms that we can use to extract the most out of these models. So a little bit about the prompt, and how we should give our prompts. So this is basically an overview, a thing that is very important, and the basics of prompt engineering. So you need to remember three things. One is that your prompt should define the persona, basically what are you or what kind of background you are. The second is what is the task that you want. You should specify it. And the third is that you should give as much context as you can give so that the output is in line with what you have in mind. An example is you are a print environment journalist. That's basically what I do for a living. And you want to write a story on air pollution. So basically, you see, print environment journalist. So you are giving a persona. And at the same time, within the persona, I'm also specifying what kind of journalist I am. And then I am talking about exactly what I have in mind, which is basically to write a story on air pollution. Now I'm specifying the task. Task is give 4 story pitches for the alarming air pollution rise in Delhi. So you see how it has been built up. So all the three things, you've given a persona, a task, and a context. So the outcome would be more in line with what you want. And you've spelled out the task, which is basically 4 story ideas or pitches that you want to give to your editor or to your organization. And you can get an output. So these are the three basic things that you should always keep in mind. Besides this, so we will have a lot of content in terms of PDFs, in terms of modules, in terms of quizzes to help you go beyond this. So this is basically the bare minimum. You should always keep a persona, a task, and context. You can also make it more elaborate and more complicated or more nuanced in terms of, let's say, so a basic idea, like the same prompt given by you, given by me, given by anybody else. So the beauty of AI is the fact that it gives different answers every time. So it is thinking based on the prompt that you're giving. But it is wonderful for the content that it comes out with, but it's terrible for an organization where you want the outcome to be pretty deterministic, in the sense it doesn't matter whether Rajat has worked on the same project or somebody else has worked on the same project. The organizational basic standards should be in place, and should the outcome should adhere to the norms of the organization. So basically, when you want to make the outcome more deterministic, or you want to in a way predict the outcome, you have to increase the amount of context, you have to specify the kind of persona, so you basically give more information and improve it. So such small little tools, tricks that you can do or use in your organization, or the kind of work that you do, we'll also talk about in this training. Besides that, we'll be talking about two tools. Uh, we are restricting ourselves to two tools. There are many tools in the market from different players. Uh, so what you need to understand is the prompt engineering part of it broadly remains the same, does not matter which platform you're working with. The tools are basically the software. The softwares which will, or the models which will help generate the content that you're looking for. So we are using Notebook LM, which is a wonderful tool for researchers. And we are also going to use Studio AI, which is also a phenomenal tool for researchers. So these are the two tools that I have used extensively. And in this training, at least, we will not be using the paid versions of this. So we will restrict ourselves to the free versions. However, depending on the scale at which you're operating, so if you want to use the things that you've created, uh, across your organization, or if you want to use the things or the tools that you've created, let's say for the general public coming to your website. So as the scale increases, you might have to go for the paid versions. But for creating the ideas or the tools, we will be using these two tools, and we will ensure that we are using the free versions, or limiting ourselves to the free version capabilities for the time being. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next training video.